So we are back on the Tahr grind again today for a couple of different reasons. Number one, there's a few things regarding how we're grinding that we've changed and kind of corrections about things we talked about in the last video that I did want to clear up here. And also we've got just a couple of highlights from the recent days of Tahr grinding that I wanted to include in this video as well. We've been streaming a ton of the Tahr grind, whether it's here on YouTube or over on Twitch, so there won't be a ton of Tahr grinding videos, but for today, talking about some of this stuff, I think it's important, plus, as I said, a few pretty cool highlights to include as well. And that is what we call a potentially fantastic start. That sounds horrible. Anyway, it also allows me to make the exact point that I want to regarding the primary change to how we're grinding for these things. For our all-male zones, like what we have here, we always want to make sure we leave at least 2 in the group, and that seems to allow us to get respawned. So I'm only seeing 3 Tahr, therefore, this 5 is going to be the only one we try to take out. So with the 4570, that is going to do exactly what we want, and we'll just kind of watch here and make sure that there wasn't a 4th one hiding somewhere. And I don't think that is the case, so probably we only wanted to take the 1, and that should allow us to get respawns back here down the road. Now these things troll a lot, so fingers crossed. And that is gonna be our heaviest diamond so far, 139.11 kilo and a 104.24 score. Not too bad, a red-brown diamond, pretty solid score. I mean, diamond's 101, it seems like 107's about the high end. We will absolutely take that to get us going. Hopefully that is a good sign for things to come for the rest of the hunt. And actually this, I think, sort of helps to make the point with the other types of herds. We've got 1 male and 2 females. Now this one's not feeding yet, I'm not really sure what the deal with that is, but ultimately we're doing the same thing by only shooting the male here. We're still leaving 2 Tahr in this herd, and maybe even more than that. There's another male, actually a decent 4. And you see why I use the 300, because not exactly the best shooting, it'll still bring him down fairly quickly, but whether it's an all-male zone or a zone with males and females, the idea is leaving multiple Tahr, and I really wanted to correct that from the last video, because I think we were still killing everything. We might have still been shooting the female Tahr at some point there. Certainly some things as we got started with the grind. What I perceived to be the case was not exactly the way that we wanted to go about it. So now that we're only shooting male Tahr, and that we're being careful about how many we leave in the zones, it does seem to make things a lot more consistent. And quite frankly, I don't prefer to grind this way. I'd rather just kind of shoot every male that we see. But consistent respawns are important, especially if you want to be fairly consistent. And with feed zones, where you can't know exactly where they're going to come back, unlike a lake, where obviously that's where the drink zones are going to be, you really don't want stuff moving around if you can help it. And luckily, not a terrible track for this guy here. He's a 92 scoring straw. Got him in the back leg, actually both back legs. Again, it's not the greatest thing. We screwed up our first diamond with the 300, but it sure does help in situations like that. Now I mentioned there being kind of multiple changes to the way that we're grinding. The other primary one is that we've just eliminated any location that's not pretty much these mountaintop meadows or down in the fields in Pahad. And by the way, Tahr drink a lot further south than a lot of people seem to think, so I'll show that on the map here in just a moment. A lot of times there's more than just 1 male Tahr in that zone. I think in this case, it may have only been the 1. So we'll jump to this side, and then we'll take a look at where they can feed, at least where we're set up for their feed zones. So every tent location you see here is either up on top of these mountains where you can see really far, or in some type of little mountain meadow, or even down here in Pahad in the fields. There are locations they feed all through Pahad. They get decently far south, but I've really just eliminated those areas where you can't see that well, where there's trees in the way or anything like that, because I think one thing has led basically to the other one. Now that we're being careful about how many Tahr we shoot, we're getting those consistent respawns and we don't have to constantly figure out where they move to, so we might as well focus on the best areas, or at least what I perceive to be the best areas. You'll have to find your own best areas in that way, whatever you prefer to grind with, but I think this has really helped in kind of solidifying our grind into what it is now. And as we have a couple of level 3s running across up here, they actually spooked as we fast traveled. And since I just showed the map, we'll talk about that a little bit. We probably wanted to get that 4, but that looked like one of those all-male herds that we talked about. Since we've shot 2, we just stopped. We're not shooting anything else, even if there is a bigger one in there. We'll worry about that next time, and next time can even be the next time slot. I think one thing we got right with this grind is doing all the different feed times. What I've really noticed is how far individual herds of Tahr will move for the different feed slots. We had a level 1 male that we were following around, and unfortunately I accidentally shot him on stream, but seeing all the different locations he would feed in, he'd be down here by this tripod. I'd see him as far north as where we are now. Like, that's about a kilometer distance, it's a little over. The different locations he's feeding, like, going through all the different times a day allows you to maybe see Tahr that the rest of the day are feeding in a place that's completely invisible, at least to where you're grinding at. And doing all these things combined finally seems to be working. This is not something I would miss. Our first white variant, he's a level 3, and I'm curious if he's going to score 78. I noticed our black variant Tahr, our first rare, he scored right at the top of his estimate, and of course that made him a gold. That's not going to be possible here, but at least a silver for our second rare and second rare variation would be kind of decent. So that's going to drop him with the 45-70 handgun, and we can go and find out. Now, there's a ton of Tahr over here, and of course, the reason that I screwed up the one on stream is because I shot it with the 300 AR. But at the very least, when you make a less than ideal shot like we did there, it does work. But more importantly, that is a really cool looking Tahr. There's a lot of like brown on the underside too. I will say, I'm pretty sure on that same stream where we screwed up the 5, I saw this guy. I thought he was a straw, almost shot him with the 300 AR and hesitated. And it's a good thing we did. They look like they scored the top of their estimates too, so really important to pay attention to. If you get a rare Tahr, maybe knowing what the score might be could give you an idea like how seriously to take that shot if you care about gold rares and stuff like that, like I do. But look at those eyes. Like a bluish color? Really cool with the white fur. The like neck patch does resemble the straws a lot, and that makes it a little bit tough to like identify the difference, but certainly at a distance you can see it. And that is a really cool one. Double along with the 45-70. Our second rare Tahr now of the grind, plus we had a red initial spawn, so 3 different variants, all males. Hopefully we can get them all by the time we're done here. And so now our second rare of the grind with the white fur type silver, third if you count the initial spawn red fur type we had here on Sooner Baton. But getting that thing really has made me think, if we have another rare on our map, I think I want to leave it for a while and show the different locations that it feeds in, because I think it could really help to illustrate why hunting different times a day can work. And I know not everybody's doing that, and plenty of people have killed Great One Tahr already. In fact, they're showing up all over the community. But for me, it seems to work pretty well, and I do like being thorough, and that's one way certainly to do it. And go figure, we've got chaos here, and we can't even get into the tripod properly. Now this, we can see males and females. So that means pretty much right away, any male we see, we can go ahead and take it out. We don't have to worry. What in the world is going on here? They're everywhere. What the heck? I see males and females again. Should have reloaded instead of just panicking. But we should be fine to kill all of these. This is another one of those scenarios where if we don't maybe hunt this time of day, we may have no idea that all these things are here. But man, not good shooting at all either at the end there. Regardless, is not just about the time of day. There's something significant happening here. Finally got that one, jeez. Ah, and that one turned. All right, we're gonna call it good because I don't know what's dead, what's not. Anyway, something happened where maybe some Tahr were feeding in a place they don't typically, or maybe hanging around one of these tents for longer than I typically do. Got things to like move a bit. When I fast traveled up here and spooked them all up past this tent, that's fairly routine. Like, I do get Tahr running up past that tent fairly often, and normally we kill 2. Kind of like we did before that giant herd. I think 2 herds went running up by us, but I saw no sign of anything being male-only herds, so we should be fine to kill every male we see. Maybe one of them was a male-only herd, and a couple survived, so I guess we'll see what happens, but I have no idea how you make any kind of determination as to what Tahr came from what herd. I think that means we got 3 more to claim even still. Didn't see any big ones, but that was a lot of kills in just a really weird random spot they came out of. So we've got another one here. That was that little level 2 that we got. And we've got even that big 4 that we made a really poor shot on this end. Now I suppose, arguably, we should have shot those first two and then just killed 2 more total from all those that ran up by us and just called it good. That way there's no way we could have killed too many from one of those all-male herds, but I don't know where they came from, I don't know what caused them to randomly show up that time. Hopefully that's not going to mess up what we have going. That has entirely thrown me off. I think we still need to go up here before we rest to the final feed zone time of the day. And we do have another pretty decent 4, plus a 3, feeding out there in the open as well. Now sometimes, yep, we got him back here actually. There will be Tahr right here behind the tripod. I'm gonna guess somewhere in the brush here is gonna be a male Tahr. They get out of sight really quick here. I'd rather not shoot these ones first, because they're far enough away. If we shoot 1 shot, actually even 2 shots, they probably won't spook. Not so for the inverse. Now just about the last thing you want to do on any kind of grind is just sit around and wait. The whole point is efficiency, and it's not too efficient to just sit here forever. And I don't see any sign of any male Tahr. I really think there's going to be one in there, but we might just go ahead, try to get these 2, probably reload, and then maybe spin around, and if we're lucky, we might get eyes on whatever's behind us. So let's see, he's spinning. That guy there, not a great shot. Do we have a male? A lot of times they'll run right up along here, but I'm not sure based on the fact that they're in a slightly different location than normal. Might just be out of luck for that zone there. So, guess kind of unfortunately, we have one poorly hit male to track kind of because of that. And actually, as we go down here to try to recover him, we have another cool Tahr kill from just last night that I wanted to add into this video as well. Now, unfortunately, I don't have live commentary for this one, but it's yet another white fur type Tahr, another guaranteed silver as well as a level 3, and I really do wish that I had thought of this thing of leaving it and watching it in all the different feed zones so I can show you guys what I'm talking about really definitively, though I'm sure you can imagine what I'm referring to. But we managed to take this guy down as well with the 4570, and now 4 rare Tahr, counting our initial spawn red, all from this grind here. I still think, with our albino female from multiplayer the other day, that would be an insane multi-mount. A gold white fur type Tahr, albino female, and then hopefully another female rare down the road. But for now, yet another silver. But it is pretty cool to see things actually paying off and actually producing really cool kills. So, we've got our poorly hit 4 actually laying right here. 86 score, hit him in the back leg, not exactly ideal. Got a female warning calling down there, and we still have one more all the way back on the other side. And now that we've got this guy, we can just go ahead and rest to the final feed time of the day from 17 to 2000 hours. So yet again, we've got one of these all male herds. So we're going to try to pick out the biggest 2, and really that's not even difficult. This 3, wherever he just went, trying to hide back there, but he goes up to 92, and then of course we have the level 4 down to the left. If this guy will get out of the way, how are they doing that? Like, that's almost impossible. Like, perfect bodyguarding. Get out of there. There's like no shot. Okay. Not gonna be a good shot, but at some point, we just had to get him. Okay, at least we got a good shot there. Gonna end up tracking, but decent start down here. And this is actually an old spot that we were grinding in. At the time, didn't necessarily understand the respawns thing. And at some point, this zone, this herd, ended up moving to another spot. I really don't know what caused them to come back in here. Probably we killed too many males by accident, and they ended up back here. But it's a good spot. It's one of these where I've talked about we've eliminated those areas where we can't see well. This is a really nice little meadow here. Wide open in this small little spot, and plenty of room, other than when there's a really good bodyguard, to take down whatever we need. Luckily, that gut shot was enough, and I know I've talked about the 300 a lot today, but it did really help us in that case too, because there just was no getting into the vitals. There was no shot. And so, returning to the area where the absolute chaos happened, where all those Tahr ran by us, it's really hard to judge until we go back at the same time of day, and really even go through multiple different times a day and find out if herds of Tahr are just missing. Hopefully there's going to be something up here though, and we did see those male Tahr tracks, which is a good sign. So do we have, and we do, any Tahr running by? 3s? I thought I heard other footsteps? Maybe not. And it's just 2 males together here, so I think it is possible. These would be 2 left over, basically, saved from one that we shot 2 males out of, and then there's 2 more. I think we are absolutely fine. That should be an all-male herd. We leave those 2. And I'm really not so sure that was great, still killing all those males that ran by us. When I really think about it, if I could go back and undo that, I would do exactly what I said. Kill the first 2, kill 2 more, and then just stop, because we know we can't screw anything up. But we did get like 6 Tahr kills, and at least it looks like we're okay here. So I believe then, one more spot that we need to stop in at, and it's pretty much been my favorite and most consistent location throughout the entirety of the grind. And actually, the same place where we had those ones hiding behind us, I do get them sometimes in this later zone too. So we'll see if maybe we can get whatever's there. Now, oftentimes, they're right on top of the tent in this late zone, so we're gonna jump into the tripod. And do we have any Tahr back here on the hill behind us? Yes, we do. Got a 3 there. Usually it's 2 males. We'll probably kill that and see what takes off. Because the wind is not so great. Usually they want to run up the hill. I don't know if they're actually going to. I'm only seeing females. If it's just one, that is more than fine. We just want to make sure one doesn't get away unnecessarily. And I don't think we have to worry about that. Interesting, alright. And it does show a herd of 4 feeding. So we'll see if killing this one male ends up with 2 more males respawning in here. Again, like we talked about, because the females are there, I'm not worried about getting respawns. I'm just curious if we ultimately get 2 back here. And just when I thought we were done, a huge estimate. 105 to 116 Tahr. I think he may have been the straw variant. And we might be able to just scoot up here into the tripod and get him with the 4570. Now, I'd almost want him alert, I think. Yeah, because that's kind of a weird distance, and they are, I don't know if they're confused. They're kind of moving around, got him attentive. So now we scoot back here. Hopefully he's slowed up enough that we can quickly get this shot in. He's still kind of spinning around. I really don't like that. What in the, okay, just skip the tripod, get him alert, and then maybe we can get some kind of decent shot. So there's attentive, there's alert, and I think we're probably going to 0 for 100. That's going to get him, though. That was back. And hopefully we're going to be okay. That is a guaranteed Diamond Tahr, I think, straw fur type. And the thing about Tahr vitals, they sit really far forward. You got to be very careful not to, if you get a Great One Tahr showing up, not to shoot them too far back and actually end up with, like, intestines. I think the 4570, surely, liver shot's not going to insta-drop them. And I think I just saw Vital Blood as well. So, got away with that one. Something to keep in mind, though. And I really like that we're seeing more and more level 5s. A huge straw fur type. To wrap up this hunt, 105, oh my goodness, max weight. Now that you'll love to see. Max weight 105.62. Diamond Tahr, and we pretty much clipped the back edge of the lung. Like I said, they're far forward. We got liver and stomach as well. What a stud of a Tahr. That straw fur type is just stunning on diamonds. So the main reason that I make these types of videos with Tahr grinding, because we have plenty of opportunities to grind for Tahr on live streams, is to pretty much make corrections like we talked about at the beginning. Because we were, at the very start of this grind, shooting females, shooting all the males in zones, and constantly looking for the new spots. I wanted to make those clarifications, just so you guys know what's going on with all that. And then of course there's the highlights that we've talked about along the way. Now you may have caught wind, if you were really paying attention, that I didn't say that Tahr at the start of this video was our first Diamond Tahr, and there was a reason for that, and it came from the very place we just killed that diamond now. He is, oh, guaranteed diamond. Holy, it's a straw as well. You see nothing. Actually, what am I doing? I just realized I don't have to be my tripod to shoot him. Well, that only took 1,800 kills. Don't mess it up. Listen. He did turn right when we shot, but I doubt I shot him through the spinal cord. Looking good from here. 105 minimum is massive. Yeah, it's a big male. 105.84. A little high, but got the job done. That's a lot of kills to go before your first diamond. And again, I should have had one at, I don't know, maybe the 500 or 600 mark. And I just can't believe we now have 2 straw fur type diamond Tahr. I really love the looks of those, and we're gonna go back to the lodge. They look amazing on the wall. But really, in the last 3-4 days, we've gone from 1 rare Tahr on this entire grind to 3 diamonds and 3 rares, and now it's time to jump back to the lodge and take a look. And one of the absolute best things about the Tahr here in the trophy lodge is that they can go on these really small plaques, and they just look great on there. Like, they fill the space really well. I think a lot of spaces in our main lodge are eventually going to be replaced by these Tahr, and we are in the grind lodge for now, just until we kind of get everything figured out. But man, that white fur type up there, not quite as much neck fluff as the straw fur type that we just looked at. But it just looks super, super nice. I still want a big one for the multi-mount, but for now, I quite like the look of them up there on the wall. So we've got our other white fur type. This one was the 73 score over here. And of course the 2 diamonds, one from the very start of the video, and one to wrap up the video, max weight diamond, 140 kilo. He's actually a tiny bit smaller than the one from the stream, but we will definitely take that. A significant increase in the trophies that we've gotten. And you can see, as we're slowly but surely figuring this out, it is starting to produce results. And as predicted, the Great One Tahr grind around the community is kind of being figured out in these feed zones. It can definitely be done, and like I said, the point of these videos is to help you guys along, those of you that are maybe unsure about grinding or not sure what to do. Hopefully we can kind of show that, and we get to take a look at some of the really cool trophies that we've gotten along the way. So I do think on that note, that's going to do it for this video. So as always, thank you guys for watching. If you do have questions about the grind, leave them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer those, and I will see you next time.